to the bold analysis. Raila Amolo Odinga has lost the bid to become the next chair of the African Union Commission. This is news that has shaken the country. And the scheme to exile Odinga from Kenya by William Ruto have collapsed. In this analysis, I want us to look at something very critical. William Ruto conned Raila Odinga. And the person that betrayed Raila. And in this podcast, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to demonstrate to you how. Immediately, this announcement came.
Excellencies, I wish to declare the results as follows. His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf from Djibouti, 33.
Protest, of course, those who are watching the proceedings from Kondele in Kisumu started chanting Ruto must go and actually showing solidarity with Raila Odinga, that Raila Odinga needs to come back in the country and join the people in fighting William Ruto.
Hakuna ambaye amefikisha thuluthi mbili, lakini sasa yule ambaye ameachwa kwenye kinyang'anyiro ni Mohamed Ali Yusuf wa Djibouti. Je, mataifa 22 ambayo yamempigia Raila Odinga kura kuanzia mwanzo, je, mataifa hayo yatabadili sasa mwenendo na kusema bara limeamua na sasa tunawaunga na kumpigia kura Mohamed Ali Yusuf ili apate kiti hicho, ama watasema basi sisi tunarejea nyumbani tuende tena tukajipanga upya kwa kinyang'anyiro kingine? Kwa hivyo ni baadhi ya maswali na maswala ambayo tunatarajia ama tunasubiri Musa Faki mzaliwa wa Chad kutoa mwelekeo, manake bara nzima la Afrika limesalia Faki atoe tu uongozi kuhusu kinachosalia, lakini kwa hivi sasa mtazamaji, na kuhakikisha kwamba Mohamed Yusuf Ali ndiye
mimi pia ni mtu wa Kisumu hapa. Mimi nasema ya kwamba Raila arudi tu nyumbani. Raila ni Kenyan president. Arudi. Raila hawezi wacha Ruto aue watu hapa. Raila kuje 2027 akuwe kwa ballot, ni president wa hapa. Sio wa nje. Kenya iko na shida. Hakuna chakula, vijana hawana kazi. Na anaenda nje kufanya nini? Sisi kama watu wa Kisumu, we are very happy because Raila is coming home. Arudi nyumbani. Raila warudi dala.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Odinga the Beast. Mimi kama mimi Odinga the Beast huwa nina furaha sana. Kwa sababu nini? Kama Raila angechukua kiti cha EU, sisi wa Kenya tungeuzwa. Sasa baba, tumeshukuru wewe hujapata kiti cha EU. Kwa sababu nini? Tutakutaka. Rudi Kenya baba. Without you, Kenya cannot be called Kenya. And without you in the ballot coming election 2027, baba, no election. Nataka nikwambie.
Mimi naomba Raila arudi nyumbani. Raila arudi nyumbani. Process is next. Azimio irudi.
This is really contradicting what was my position. My position was, let him go to AU so that the people can have a one-on-one with President Ruto. but the public is saying different. For those who followed the Bold podcast, I kept on saying the capacity of William Ruto to campaign for Raila and the goodwill that Kenya Kwanza can give Raila, those two things I had a problem. And of course the other one is capacity of Raila Odinga himself to work in that position. I doubted, and many times I kept on asking, is William Ruto right? I did close to 17 videos. When I was in Nyandarua, I received a call, that was last year in October, I received a call from a very key person within William Ruto's secretariat. And I remember doing an analysis when I was building those houses in Nyandarua that Raila Odinga's campaign secretariat had not received money, and they're supposed to be given money to move across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen the country blaming William Ruto for misleading Raila into this failed bid and called for the opposition leader to return home and refocus on defending Kenyans against the government oppression as he did before. This message is a very clear signal. The country was unhappy that Raila Odinga was being exiled from the Kenyan space. And of course, everyone understood that the reason why Raila Odinga is being supported by Kenya Kwanza is because they want Raila Odinga out of the Kenyan political equation. So if that was the trap, even if Raila was supposed to win it, it was not going to be very easy to convert that excitement into William Ruto support. And I want to say this. The AUC election, Ruto and Mudavadi went to Western and kept on saying the first vote that Raila has is that of William Ruto. That William Ruto is the chief agent. That William Ruto is the chief campaigner. So if it was anchored on that, the person to carry the blame is William Ruto. I've seen a tweet by Alai, and I've seen Ruto's bloggers, Alai and Ibrahim, Lord Abraham, saying that Uhuru Kenyatta has been in Addis Ababa since Friday and is yet to meet Raila Odinga. Some of them now want to blame Uhuru Kenyatta for what has happened. The person responsible, and I want to demonstrate to you, William Ruto conned Raila. Some of us, if you could dare say this, our villages back home would be set on fire. Baba has lost it. And what is my point? Did you realize how William Ruto's handlers sustained a spirited propaganda that Raila Odinga is winning? And they kept on saying, I remember the last speech that Raila had in Bomas when he was endorsing, the place where he was endorsing, who is this? He was endorsing Sakaja. The speech that Raila had that said, nikishindwa sawa, nikishinda sawa, sinikona kwetu. Musalia Mudavadi, William Ruto, Farouk Kibet, and I don't know who, all of them sustained a narrative that Raila Odinga is going to win, even though they knew very well that there were no clear odds. And because of that hope that was set, the winning mood that Kenya Kwanza decided to set, if you compare that to 2022, they were never saying Ruto is going to win. By the time election was going on, they were not ever talking about winning. In fact, it's Azimio who even paraded that red carpet. And because of that, look at, and I want to tell you this, Raila Odinga there is a lot of optics and expensive, look at the level of campaigns. Raila Odinga was put in a very expensive jet to visit 38 capitals within the African continent and visited 38 countries. Can I tell you that throughout the 7 rounds, Raila did not manage to garner more than 25 votes. The most votes that got were 22. The most were 22. He visited 38 countries. The Djibouti candidate visited physically, he visited less than 15 countries. Now, the country was made to believe, I have given Raila money. You've seen Raila meeting African presidents across the continent. Raila is very popular, so. And these campaigns are not based on physical meetings with which president. There are countries in the continent that Raila visited for the first time. Not even Mwai Kibaki, not even Uhuru Kenyatta, not even William Ruto himself had visited such countries. Tell me the last time a Kenyan president visited Tunisia. Tell me. The first time African president visited Tunisia. Tell me when last did a Kenyan president visit Morocco? Tell me. When last did a Kenyan president visit Cape Verde? We engaged in an overly expensive campaign so that we can sustain an image that William Ruto is supporting Raila Odinga. But the diplomats kept on warning, this election is not won on such visits. Ruto con Raila. Ruto con Raila bana. Let me just show you the list of those who are in Addis Ababa. Just look at the list of Kenyan leaders who are in Addis Ababa waiting for Raila to win. National Intelligence Service Director General Nurdin Haji, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Korir Sing'ei, Ex-Senior Economic Advisor Moses Kuria, former Murang'a Governor Mwengi Wairia, Health CS Baraza. Look at the members of parliament. Kikuyu member of parliament Ichung'wa, Suna West Mohamed Junet, Embakasi Babu Owino, Lang'ata Jalango, Dagoretti North Beatrice Elachi, Suba North Millie Odhiambo, Alego Usonga my MP Samuel Atandi, Bahati MP Irene Njoki Jubilee, Thika Town Alice Ng'ang'a, Nyando MP Jared Okello, Game Elisha Odhiambo, Homa Bay Town Peter Kaluma, Belgut Nelson Koech, Makadara Georgia Ladwa, Awendo Walter Owino, Uriri Mark Nyamita, Kasipul Ongondowere, Senators, Majority Leader Cheriot, Senator Osotsi, nominated Karen Nyamu, Governors Nyong'o, Wanga, Abdul Swamad, and Joseph Olelenku. Look at that number. All these people were carried by the hope that Raila is going to win. This election, and I'm saying this, Raila got one first round and second round. The third round, after the SADC candidate, after the Madagascar candidate was dropped, the SADC bloc that we complained about voted for the Djibouti candidate. Yesterday night, on Friday evening, I did an analysis, and I did say here, the SADC nations wrote a letter asking its member nations, its member countries, to support Madagascar candidate. And then the PS came the next day, issuing a statement saying there is an afterthought. We kept on warning about our meddling with DR Congo. William Ruto understood very well that his hands are not clean in the diplomatic space. Even that Obasanjo is a con man. That Obasanjo was sent by William Ruto to go and tell Raila to go and vie. Raila was not supposed to go for that seat. Even that Obasanjo is a con man. My Nigerians, forgive me. But this is it. That is the truth. Then you carry the emotions of the country to make the country feel like, now this is Raila's time. A second thing. Ruto holds AU, African Union, champion of institutional reforms. This one disadvantaged Raila. There's no way they were going to vote for the two from the same country, AUC chair and that from the same country. And then people started running these conjectures. Oh, you know, the Muslim nations, they have a vice, so they cannot have the chair from the same region. Come on. Kenya is perceived as giant. In fact, we presented Raila Odinga's candidature as the best candidate for the Eastern region. William Ruto is the current chairperson of East African Community. Museveni, who at one point Raila even flew to Uganda with Ruto to meet, and it is Museveni who was, I don't know, supposed to front Raila where. Museveni was not in Addis Ababa. The East African Community, I've seen Peter Kaloma saying that they are going to petition Kenya to pull itself out of the East African Community. We've had issues with the East African Community. We've had issues of the G&G with Uganda. DRC doesn't want Kenya because it feels Kenya is supporting Rwanda on the M23 invasion. You know, even in the global space, the same time we are sending Raila to go and vie, an opposition leader from Tanzania from Uganda is being abducted in Nairobi by military officials from the foreign country, and then we want to posture ourselves as the best. We never meant well. I still believe that Kenya was not even supposed to present the candidature of Odinga. They're not even supposed to present a candidate in the first place. South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, those are the giants. And in Eastern Africa, Kenya is seen as the next giant. They cannot allow us. Kenya is seen as the next giant. In 2012, South Africa broke the unwritten rule of a powerful nation in the continent should not be allowed, unwritten rule, to present a candidature. If you compare Kenya and Djibouti is like Kiambu County. But the way it is, the way small it is, it has military bases for almost all the superpowers in Djibouti. I still insist we were not even supposed to present the candidate of Raila. And having understood this election could not be won by how many rounds, how many presidents you visit. Look at during the session in Addis Ababa, William Ruto was very busy making last minute meetings. No, yesterday he met the Angolan president, he met the Equatorial Guinea. We paid subscription fee for Sao Tome and Principe, that country, to go and vote. They've not even voted. We met the president of Senegal. I don't know which one. We met several presidents yesterday. While we were doing all this, do you know that the Djibouti candidate, if you check his social media, there's no meeting that he did yesterday, but we shouted, our MPs were dancing in the Addis Ababa, in Ethiopian capital, that we've brought it home. William Ruto knew. William Ruto knew very well. And we've taken Raila through a process that was not necessary, if you ask me. This process was not necessary for Raila to undergo. Now, there's some few things I can see from this. Number one, Kenya, Ruto is touted as an election gangster, a man who has never lost. It is a lie then. If Raila Odinga's candidature was anchored, and I saw in social media, a number of Raila supporters kept on saying, you know, Ruto has never won, has never lost any election, and because it is William. And even personally, I was a bit more convinced. I was consumed by those optics. When I saw Raila arriving with Ruto, boarding the same car, the continent looked at those things. And I did raise, and I said, this doesn't look like a continental candidate. This looks like a William Ruto's project somehow. So, kumbe, without rigging, you don't have a Ruto presidency. The whole candidature of Raila Odinga was to sustain the broad-based mongrel by to make political inroads. I want you to look at how the last rally that William Ruto did in Western Kenya. The last rally that William Ruto had in Western Kenya, William Ruto was very optimistic. And I can tell you, he was very optimistic that William Ruto, that Raila Odinga is going to win. And since Thursday, if you dare say that Raila is going to lose that election, hey, ulikuwa unauawa hapa. I'm telling you, the country was made to believe that Raila is the chair. When we know very well, we did not work with the software. This election is not won by how many countries you win as you visit as a candidate. This election is won purely on the regional blocks. And East African bloc was not solid. I may not be shocked. Even Kenya might have not voted for Raila. Inawezekana bwana. So we kept on running conjectures here. Now, Ruto have been narrating a pitch about making cheap loans here and there. Those things are not working. AUC race, the African presidents were able to see that that race was weaponized to solve domestic squabbles in the country. And let me say this. You know, we are in a digital age. All the 55 African presidents in that place understand well that Raila Odinga is a 5 times presidential candidate and is a stalwart opposition leader. They understand. Number 2, they know that William Ruto wants Raila out of the political space because there are those who understand that Ruto's strongest opponent is Raila Odinga. So the way local politics, domestic issues were entangled on Raila Odinga's candidature, it played against the odds. I still believe William Ruto trapped Raila. It was a big con.